Hello, Eugenio. How are you today? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Bunny. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I've finished the whole season. I love this show so much that I have been bugging my Apple TV reps. When am I going to get it? Going to get it. So finally saw it. It's so fantastic. I want to ask you because what I think I love so much about this show is Enrique, his unbridled enthusiasm. He's just a joy to watch. What did you initially see in that young man that you knew that he could anchor this series?
We made a huge casting. We auditioned, I don't know, 500 Enriquez. And he appeared at the very end. Well, I remember that we were like struggling. We're still not finding him because we needed someone who looks more or less like me,
Yeah,
physically,
yeah,
but my voice more or less. Someone could be like a young me. So it was really complicated. Someone who's also bilingual. So
yeah.
it was really hard. But finally, at the very, very, very end, we discovered Enrique, and here we are.
And the rest is history. He's fantastic. And I love watching the progression of every season. And when you sit there and you're telling the stories, to your young nephew, and I wanted to know, Eugenio, who in your life was the storyteller and you're like growing up? Did you have somebody that you just loved listening to their stories?
My grandpa. My grandpa was a great storyteller, and I remember that I was always like, drawn to all his stories, and I was always asking him. I don't know if I feel that every good storyteller is always like Maximo is always like putting certain stuff that is not real, adding constantly things to make it more interesting. So I'm not sure if my grandpa was always sticking to the truth or it was just like improvising, but Maximo is constantly like creating more stuff that the real spicing up the stories. But that's I think a good storyteller every time does that, no? And
Absolutely. Oh
spice
yeah,
up
no,
the
for sure.
stories.
For sure. Listen, I've got stories from my grandparents too. I don't know how, but whatever. I go with it. I go with it. I have to ask you too. Now, we see that Maximo, of course, he is climbing the ladder of success. He wants to do his best in his job, but he misses Mother's Day with his mother. Would you have ever done that?
Unfortunately, I need to tell you that yes, I did a lot of mistakes like that when I was young.
Yeah.
Not anymore,
Good.
but I feel that all of us, anyone, can feel related to Maximo because many times you need to work and you prioritize work versus family,
Yeah.
and that's really bad. That's wrong.
Correct.
But and what I like about Maximo is that it makes you question yourself if you should cross certain limits or lines in order to be more successful or rich. And Maximo is always struggling. I know that if I do this, I'm gonna make more money, but I'm gonna betray my family or my friends.
Yeah,
And that's something that every single human being has to question himself every day. Should I
of
do
course.
this or that? No. And in my case, I remember that I lost, uh, especially with my kids. I remember that a few of their birthdays or graduations, I was working and I should have, put limits, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, listen, we all are in that situation. I just have to tell you again how much I absolutely adore this series. I remember going to Acapulco in the 80s, and because I love Mexico so much, I have a place in Puerto Vallarta. I've been going for 30 years. It is my absolute favorite place. So thank you for bringing us this series. Just please keep it coming. The story is not over, as we know, correct?
Correct. And I'm glad you like the series so much. And thanks
I
for
do.
loving Mexico. Puerto
Oh,
Vallarta is an amazing place. I love it.
oh,
And
I'm going in January. I'm already booked. Thank you so
and
much. I
please
just love it so much.
spread the word with Acapulco.
Oh, I do. I do. Trust me. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
great
much,
weekend.
Bunny.
Okay. Bye bye.